Hi everyone. Hi everyone. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you are doing fine. All right. So, if it is your first time on the Dynamic Lady Girls, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I am Mommy Dynamic, and today I have a maths lesson for you. This lesson, of course, is about long division. So if you are hearing me loud enough, you can send a message in the chat for me to know that you are hearing me. Okay? All right. So you may see me looking down. Okay. I was just trying to see if I'm hearing. All right. So what we're going to be doing is basically sharing. We are going to be sharing because you know that division is about sharing. All right. So the first problem we're going to be working is this problem, okay? So we have 84 and we are going to be dividing by 5, okay? So we have 84, this is it, 84 divided by 5. That's what we're going to be working first. So first, we have to set out this problem. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set out this problem. Okay? So we have 84 and we're going to be dividing by 5. So in this case, the first thing you are going to ask yourself, how many groups of 5 can you get from 8? So we can only get one group of 5 from 8. So we're going to put the one group of 5 right there. So that's the first thing we are going to do, right? So when you are doing division, what I should tell you first is that first you're going to divide, then you're going to multiply, then you're going to take away, and you're going to repeat the process, right? All right, so we just divide. So now we are going to multiply. So we're going to multiply the 5 by 1, right? So 5 multiplied by 1, of course, you are going to get 5. So then we're going to draw our line, and then we're going to take away 5 from 8. So you have 8 things, and you give away 5. And of course, we have 3 left. So first, what you have to ask yourself is if you can get a group of 5 from 3. So now we know numbers, so we know that 3 is a smaller digit than 5. So the first thing you have to do is to look to see if there's a next digit in line. So we're going to carry it down, right? So look at me now. So I have a next digit, which is 4. So I'm going to carry down my 4. And now I am going to have 34. So how many groups of 5 can I get from 34? How many groups of 5? So now you're going to go in your 5 times table, right? And you're going to ask yourself, how many groups of 5? So how many groups of 5? Of course, 6. 6 groups. All right? So I'm going to put my 6 right there. I just divide. So what I'm going to do next is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 5 multiplied by 6. And of course, that is 30. You're going to take away now. So I draw my line and I'm going to take away. Remember that you always start at your 1's column when you are doing takeaway, right? Of course, we could simply say to ourselves, 30 from 34. And you know you are left with 4. But for the persons who are not that advanced, what you have to do is to take it slow, and of course, no problem. And of course, 0 from 4, you are left with 4. As you have 4 things and you didn't give away any, of course, you're still left with the 4 thing that you had before. And of course, you have 3 and you take away 3 from it, you're left with 0. And of course, I am finished working this, but then we have a 4 here. So what you have to ask is, can I get a group of 5 from this 4? And of course, we can't get a group of 5 from this 4 because 4 is smaller than 5, and we don't have a next digit to bring down. So therefore, this is it. We're finished working this problem. All right? So let us look at it now. Let us look at this problem. And of course, we know that a part of this that you need to know is that even a division problem has parts. Because this division problem that we have here has different parts. And of course, right here we have 4, and this is the remainder. And of course, we have 84, which is known as your dividend, D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D. And of course, 16 up here is known as your quotient. 16 is your quotient, of course. And of course, we have 5 right here. 5 right here, and 5 is known as your divisor, D-I-V-I-S-O-R. And of course, for the persons who are just coming on in, welcome, 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 naturally, Tommy. And of course, Tommy, say hi, Deborah K. At work, just passing through it. Thank you for coming, Tommy. Of course, Tommy said, I used to love long division when I was at school. And of course, his sister Sidonie said, hey teacher, happy Monday. Thank you for coming, Sister Sidonie. And of course, thank you guys for coming on in. Of course, we're doing some long division today. All right, so take a look at what we just did. Take a look at what I just worked on the board. All right. So that is a long division, all right? So I'm gonna erase it. And of course, Sidonie is saying hello to you, Tommy. All right? So, all right, so we're gonna take our next problem. We are gonna take our next division problem. All right, let's take another one. So I am erasing this one, and of course, we're gonna take a next division problem. So for the persons who are just coming on in, we are doing long division. All right, so let's do this one now. So we have 810, we have 810, and of course, we are dividing by 3. All right, so we are dividing by 3. Let's work it together. All right, so if you are just coming on in, we are doing division, long division. All right, so now remember, we have to set out the problem now. And of course, I am going to set out this problem. So we have 810, and of course, we are dividing by 3. Remember that we are actually sharing, right? We're dividing, so we are sharing. All right, but we have to follow steps. All right, so first you have to say to yourself, how many groups of 3s can you get from 8? How many groups of 3s can you get from 8? All right, so we can only get 2 groups of 3. We can only get 2 groups of 3. 3's. All right? So we just divide. So now we are going to multiply. So 3 multiplied by 2 give us 6. And please note where I am putting my 6. Now I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to take away. All right? So now I am going to take this 6 from this 8. So you have 8 things and you give away 6. So you have 8 things and you give away 6. And of course, you are left with 2. All right? Then you are going to ask yourself, how many groups of 3 can you get from 2? All right. 2 is smaller than 3. So in this case, we can't get a group of 3 from 2. And because we can't get a group of 3 from 2, we are going to carry down the next digit in line. All right, so we have 1 next. All right, so I'm going to carry it down right beside the 2. And now we have 21. How many groups of 3's can we get from 21? All right, so you're using your 3 times table to help you right here. What do you multiply by 3 to give you 21? And of course, that is 7. 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. All right, so we're taking away now. And of course, you can just say 21 from 21, you are left 0. But if you don't know to do it like that, it is fine for you to take away from the 1's place. So you have this 1, take away from this 1, you are left with 0. And of course, 2 from 2, you are left with 0. But look at it now, we have 0 left, so we know we can't get a group of 3 from 0. So what we have to do in this case, look to see if there is a next digit that we didn't use and bring it right down. And of course, we have 0, so we're going to bring it right down. And of course, if you look, we have 3 zeros down here, or we can say 0. All right? So we have 0 at the bottom. So remember that we have to ask ourselves, same way how we just bring down a 0, how many groups of 3's can we get from this 0? All right? And because we cannot get a group of 3 from it, we're going to say 0. You see that 0? I put it in blue. But you see, if you leave your answer to be 27, it's going to be incorrect. So the next thing we are going to do is that we're going to multiply 3 by 0. And of course, any number you multiply by 0, you are going to get 0. And of course, I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to take away. And of course, in this case, we have 0 remainder. And of course, we have 810. And 810 in this case is known as your what? 810 is known as your dividend. D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D. That's your dividend. And of course, you have 3. And in this case, 3 is known as your divisor, which is D-I-V-I-S-O-R. And of course, 270 is your quotient. And the same thing you call your answer, so that is your quotient, Q-U-O-T-I-E-N-T. And that is your same thing you call your answer, right? And of course, we have 0 remainder. I hope you are understanding what I am doing so far. I hope you are understanding what I'm doing so far. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, if you are here for the first time, welcome. Thank you for coming on in. And of course, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. Feel free to participate. And of course, Sister Sydney, I am seeing you. Mega welcome to you. And of course, to all the other persons that are watching, and for the persons that will come up on this live, I hope you will find it useful. In this live, what we are doing is long division. I hope you are enjoying this lesson. Remember now, long division is very easy. It is very easy, so don't find it to be hard. It is about using takeaway. It is about using multiplication, and it's about using division. So it is about using what you know. It's not hard. It's very easy. So I'm going to be working another problem for you. All right, so let's do another one. All right, let's do another one and look at this one that we're going to be doing. So we have 915. We have 915, and of course we are dividing. We are dividing by 4. All right, so we're dividing by 4. 915, and we're dividing by 4. All right. So let's set out the problem. So that's the first thing we have to do. So 915, of course, 915 is known as your dividend. 915 is known as your dividend. And of course, 4 is known as your divisor. So the first thing you are going to do is that you are going to say how many groups of 4 can you get from 9? So we are using our 4 times table in this problem. How many groups of 4s can you get from 9? And of course, we can only get 2 groups of 4. We just divide, and of course, we are going to multiply now. We're going to say 4 multiplied by 2, and of course, that is 8. You are going to draw your line, and you're going to take away. All right, so now you have 9 things, and taking away 8, and of course, you have 1 left. You have 1 left. And of course, the next thing you are going to do is that you're going to ask yourself, I have 1 dumpling. Can I get 4 dumplings from it? No. All right. So it's the same thing we have right here. So we have 1 something and we want groups of 4s. We can't get it, right? All right. So because we can't, we're going to look to see the next digit that we have in line. And of course, we have numeral 1, and we're going to bring it down. All right? So this is what we talk about when we say carry it down. Bring it down. The same thing we're talking about right here. So we're going to carry it down beside this one. And of course, now it is going to be 11. So it is now 11. So ask yourself, how many groups of 4s can you get from 11? And of course, we can only get 2 groups of 4s. 2 groups of 4s we can get from 11. We just divide. So now we are going to multiply. All right, so let's multiply. 4 multiplied by this 2, that the second 2 that you carry. So 4 multiplied by 2, of course, you get 8. All right? And of course, we're going to take away. All right? So you have 11 things and you're giving away 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So you have 3 things left. So I'm going to put my 3 right here. All right? So look. Now I'm going to say, how many groups of 4s can I get from this 3? And of course, 3 is smaller than 4. We can't get a group of 4. Okay? So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to look to see if there is a next digit in line. And of course, we are going to carry down this digit. We have 5. And of course, I bring down that 5. And of course, now we have 35. Now we have 35. All right, I hope you are understanding what I'm doing so far. So the next thing you are going to do now, ask yourself, how many groups of 4s can you get from 35? How many groups of 4s can you get from 35? Tell me now. Of course, you can get. Of course, you can get 8 groups of 4s. 8 groups of 4s. So 4 multiplied by 8. 4 multiplied by 8. 4 multiplied by 8 is how much? Tell me now. All right, so 4 multiplied by 8, of course, that's 32. And of course, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to take away. All right, so you have 2 from 5, your 5 things, then you give away 2. Of course, you're left with 3. And of course, you have 3 things and you give away this 3. And of course, you're left with 0. And of course, in this case, this is where it ends. We don't have a next digit to bring down. And of course, we can't get a group of 4 from 3. So that's where this problem finishes. That's where it finishes, right? It finishes right here. And of course, 4 in this problem is our divisor. Our answer, which is the same thing as our quotient. Our quotient is 228. And of course, the amount that we just shared is 915. And 915 in this division problem is known as your dividend. I hope you are understanding what we are doing so far. And of course, I have Cecilia say, wish I was not buffering. I have Tariq say, such a great teacher. Oh, thank you so very much, Tariq. Thank you all for coming on in. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And for the persons who are in the back, I hope you are understanding what I'm doing so far. I hope you are understanding. I hope you are enjoying what I am doing. And of course, math is not bad. It's not hard. It is just practice. All right. Let's do another problem. All right. So let's do another one. let's do another one together. All right, so what we're doing is that we're solving long division problem together. Together we are working maths, right? All right, so the next problem we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be doing a short one for you. So I have 98 divided by 3. So I have 98 divided by 3. So that's 98 divided by 3. Remember, you can't do it like that. You have to work out the problem. Remember, you have to work the problem out. All right, so that is exactly what we are doing. So look at what I'm doing now. I'm going to set it up. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to set the problem out. All right, and this is how you set the problem out. 98 is known as your dividend. And of course, 3 is known as your divisor. Very good. All right, so that is how you set it out. All right, so look at this now. 3 into 9. How many groups of 3 can you get from that? We're using our 3 times table to do this one. So when you look in your 3 times table now, you see 3, 1, 3, 3, 2, 6, 3, 3, 9. So you can only get 3 groups of 3s from 9. All right? So that is what we do when we say we are dividing. So we just divide into 9. Now we're going to multiply 3 by 3. And 3 multiplied by 3, of course, you get 9. All right? So now the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to take away, and of course, 9 take away, this 9 take away, this 9, you are left with 0. But this problem is not complete. Why it's not complete? Because we still have an next digit in line. So because we have a next digit in line, the next thing we have to do is that we are going to bring down. We're going to carry down. So we have this 8 and we're going to carry it down beside this 0. And of course, it is going to be 8, not 80, but 8. All right, so now you're going to ask yourself, how many groups of 3s can you get from 8? How many groups of 3s can you get from 8? Ask yourself that question. All right, and of course, we can only get 2 groups of 3s. We can only get 2 groups of 3s. And of course, look at this now. Look at this. We're going to multiply now. So we remember, we are not going to multiply 3 by 3, but 3 by 2. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Look where I'm putting my 6. And now I draw my line. I'm going to take away. You see, I write my takeaway sign, but see what I am doing. So 6 things take away from 8 things. So we only have 2 things left. We don't have an next digit in line, and because we don't have an next digit in line, what we have to do is just realize that, yeah, this problem is complete. So remember now, we may want to identify the parts of this division, and of course, 2 in this case is our remainder, Why? Because we can't get a group of 3 from this 2. 2 is smaller than 3, right? All right, so 2 is your remainder. 98 is your dividend. 3 is your divisor. And of course, your quotient, or the same thing you call your answer, is 32. So have a look at the problem. Have a look at the problem. And of course, you guys are doing a great job. Have a look at the problem. I hope you are enjoying this math lesson. And of course, long division is not hard at all. It's very easy. All right, so we are going to be doing another problem. We're going to be doing another problem. All right, so let's erase this one so we can take our next one. And of course, the problem that we're going to be working is 67 divided by 5. 67 divided by 5. And of course, we have to set it out. Of course, we have to set it out. All right, so look at how I go about setting up the problem. So this is 67. And of course, 67 is your dividend. And of course, we have 5, which is our divisor. All right, so let's work it together now. Let's work it together. All right, so this is what we're going to do. How many groups of 5 can you get from 6? You can only get 1 group of 5. 1 group of 5. Of course, we're going to multiply 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. Draw your line, we're going to be taking away. How many groups of 5 can we get? When you have 6 things and you take away 5 from it, you're left with 1, right? Can we get a group of 5 from 1? No. So the next thing you are going to do is to look to see if there's a digit, and you are going to bring it down. Of course, we have 7 that we don't use that yet. So we're going to bring it down beside this one. It becomes 17. All right? So now ask yourself, how many groups of 5 can you get from 17? How many groups of 5 can you get from 17? So we're using our 5 times table right now. So normally your divisor will tell you what timetable to use. How many groups of 5 can you get from 7? And of course, we can get 3. And of course, when you multiply 3 by 5, you get 15. And of course, we're going to take away 5 from 7. You are left with how much? You are left with 2. And of course, 1 take away 1, you are left with 0. So we don't have a next number to bring down. And of course, this is the end of this problem. 13 is your answer, which we call the quotient. And of course, 67 is known as your dividend. 5 is known as your divisor, and of course 2 is known as your remainder. All right, so take a look at that problem. I'm going to erase it, and of course we're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to stop right there. All right, so for all the persons who are watching, the persons who are enjoying, the persons who are learning, we're happy to have you. And of course, we are doing long division. If you are just joining in, we are doing long division. We're doing a lesson on long division. And of course, we're trying to identify the parts also of a long division problem. And of course, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I have a long one, and of course, I'm going to be doing a long one for you. All right, I have a longer one for you. All right, so just tune in, and of course, enjoy what is going on. All right, so when you are finished with this list, you're going to realize that after all, long division is very easy. It's nothing hard. All right, it is nothing hard. Of course, let's go ahead now and let's work the problem. So what we have right here, we have 995, and of course we are dividing, we're dividing by 3. All right, so 995, and of course we're dividing by 3. Of course, we need to set it out. And of course, 995 is known as your dividend. And of course, 3 in this case is known as your divisor. So let's look at how we're going to work that problem now. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, ask yourself how many groups of 3 can you get from this 9? All right, the 9 that is in the hundredths place. So we can only get 3 groups of 3 from 9, because 3 multiplied by 3, of course, you get 9. We draw our line, and of course, we're going to take away. When you take this 9 from this 9, you are left with 0. But of course, we have 2 more digits that we don't start working yet. We have this 9 that is in the 10th place, and we have this 5 in the 1st place. So we are going to carry down the 9 that is in the 10th place. And of course, when you carry down that 9 beside that 0, it's still 9 and not 90. All right? So 3, how many groups of 3s can you get from this 9? Of course, you can only get 3 groups of 3s. 3 multiplied by 3, of course, is 9. We're going to take away again. You have 9 dumplings, you give away all 9 of them, you are 0 dumplings. 0 dumpling, and of course, you're going to bring down this 5 now beside this 0. And of course, it's not 50 but 5. How many groups of 3s can you get from this 5? And of course, you can get one group of 3s. And of course, 3 multiplied by 1, going to give you 3. You're going to draw your line, take away. And now when you have 5 things, you give away 3, you are left with 2. We don't have a next digit to carry down. And of course, this problem is finished right here. And of course, remember now, 2 is your remainder. 3 is your divisor. 331 is your quotient, the same thing as your answer. And of course, 995 is known as your dividend. All right, I'm going to leave that one for you to have a look at it. I'm going to leave it for you to have a look at it. All right. And of course, what we're going to do, we are going to erase this one, and of course, we're going to take another one. I hope you are enjoying. I hope you are enjoying this math. I hope you are also learning. If you didn't know how to do it, I hope you are seeing it where it is very easy. Of course, it is very easy. Some division is not hard. All right, so let's take another problem. We're going to be taking the last one. This is going to be the last problem, and of course, we're going to stop right here after working this one. So let me quickly erase this problem. Let me erase this problem. And of course, so that's 7,005 divided by 5. So that's 7,005, and of course, we are dividing by 5. All right, remember that you have to set the problem out because that's how you're going to solve to get your answer. All right, so 705, you can paste in it. So my work don't look too jumbled. All right. So I'm going to be putting in my divisor. And of course, that's 5 is your divisor. 7,005, that is your dividend. All right, so we're solving to see if we have any remainder and what is our quotient. That's the aim, right? And of course, let's do it together. How many groups of 5 can we get from 7? We can only get one group of 5 from 7. And of course, we just divide. We're going to multiply now. 5 multiplied by 1, of course, that is 5. And of course, we're going to take away. And of course, you have 17 to give away 5. You have 2 left. And of course, the next thing is that you're going to have to tell if you can get a group of 5 from 2. Of course, 2 is smaller than 5, so we can't get a group of 5. So we're going to look to see the digit that is in the hundredth place. Of course, you're going to take it down. You're going to bring it down. All right. So now you have 20. All right. So now you have 20. How many groups of 5 can you get from 20? What do you multiply by 5 to give you 20? And of course, that is 4. And 4 multiplied by 5, or 5 multiplied by 4. Of course, that is going to give you 20. That's how we write 20. And of course, I'm going to take away now 0 from 0. You're left with 0. And of course, 2 from 2, you are left with 0. All right? So the next thing you are going to do is to look to see the next digit that is in line, and that is the digit that is in the 10th place. And of course, you are going to bring down this digit. And of course, that's 0. And of course, now we have 0 down here. Can you get a group of 5 from 0? Definitely no, you can't. So the next thing you are going to say to yourself, remember now in this case, you do not bring down the 5 as yet. You have to write a 0 right here to say you can't get a group of 5 from this that you just bring down. Remember now, so when you write that, all right, you can do it the longer way, or you can just bring down this 5 now. But for the persons who may not understand how to do it, let's do the longer way. 5 multiplied by this 0, and of course, that is 0. Remember now, any number you multiply by 0, you're going to get 0 for your answer. All right? So now look at it now, 0 from 0. Of course, you're going to get 0. And of course, let's look to see if we have a next digit in line. Of course, we have 5. We're going to bring it down. You see where I'm putting it when I bring it down? All right, so remember, it is not 50, but it is 5 in this case. And of course, how many groups of 5 can you get from this 5? And of course, we can only get one group of 5. We can only get one group of 5, and of course, 5 multiplied by 1, of course, you get 5. And of course, I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to take away. And of course, 5 from 5, you are left with 0. So in this case now, this problem is finished. It is complete, right? So 5 in this case, as I always tell you, 5 is your divisor, D-I-V-I-S-O-R. So you have 7,005 is known as your dividend, D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D. And of course, you have 1,401 is known as your quotient, Q-U-O-T-I-E-N-T. And of course, your quotient is the same thing as your answer. And of course, we have 0 remainder down here, because we have 0 remainder. And that is the end of our problem. All right? So I'm going to leave it there for you to look at it for a while. And of course, I see Tara right here. And Tara said, hello, DC. Hello, Tara. She said, hello, teacher. She's giving a shaker right there. She's also said hello to Sydney. And of course, we have Terracing. Reminds of my primary day. All right, your primary days. Of course, thank you for the thumbs up. And of course, thank you for coming on in. Thank you so very much. All right. Thank you for all the persons who tuned in to our long division session. Of course, it is always fun. It is always fun teaching and learning. It's always fun. All right. So remember now, in this case, your dividend is always the amount that you want to share. It is always the amount that you want to share. And of course, remember now, your quotient is the amount that each individual would get when you share, or we call it your answer. And of course, your divisor is the amount of persons that you're going to share with. That's what I'm talking about if you get something to share. And of course, your remainder is if you have a number, and guess what? You are sharing, that's the amount that you have left after sharing equally among yourselves. All right? And of course, this is the end of this long division session. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn one thing or two. And of course, feel free to revisit. Feel free to share with your friends. Of course, this long division session. Tomorrow again, feel free to join in on our long division session. It is always a pleasure working with you all. Until tomorrow, until next time, I am Mommy Dynamic, and I'm going to be tuning out. Thank you, Sister Steadily, for coming on in. Thank you, Tara. Thank you for the persons who are in the back. And of course, thank you, Sister Steadily. Thank you, naturally, Tommy. And thank you, Tariq, for coming on in. I can see you because you are in the chat. For the persons who are in the back that I'm not calling, remember, I can't see you if you don't text. I will not know if you are there. All right. So thank you so very much. Until next time. Bye, bye, bye. See you.